Hey folks, Libby here once again. Hope you enjoyed my review of the Suicide Squad yesterday. I do enjoy that movie, but I did have my issues with it. But if you want to know my thoughts on it, just watch my review. Remember, guys, it's Levi McNally 983. I just say it all the time just to tell you guys that this is my new channel. Stay subscribed. Thank you for the 271 subs, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your comments. I'm sorry if I can't get to them, but I will eventually when I can. I'm sorry I can't get to comments all the time. Because I'm working or I'm busy sometimes. But I get to the comments when I can. I do appreciate you watching, guys. And watching, folks. I really do appreciate it. But anyway, guys, as y'all been watching my channel, sorry, I have been doing. Sorry. Okay, I'll stop that. Hope you guys can see me and hear me. The volume should be working. The quality of the video. The quality of the video is good. I hope. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm off work for a good couple of days here, so I might be able to just get some movie reviews and finish these uh 2021 reviews. Yes, guys, I've been on the 20. I've been on doing superhero marathon. I've been on what I call the 2020 era superhero movies, superhero reviews, 2020 eras of superhero reviews. I call it. These are films that came out in the year, this decade we're living in now, 2020 to 2025, and I'm on the year 2021. I only got what this movie. I think four more movies to go after this, but I'm nearly done. And this is a Marvel film. This film is the 25th film in the MCU, and honestly, it's going to be a rant because I did not care for this film. I just wish at this point Marvel would stop. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I like Spider-Man No Way Home as well. But those films have issues. They're not perfect. And I do think, in my opinion, Avengers Endgame, maybe Spider-Man Far From Home, which I was fine with, they should have just ended it, you know. But, of course, Marvel's going to keep on making more movies. At this point, can we just stop, Marvel? Because you gotta learn to quit making this franchise eventually. Hopefully their films start flopping. This film should have flopped. Yeah, and that is the 2021 superhero film, 25th MCU film directed by Destin Daniel Curtin. That is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I hated this film. I thought this film was boring as heck. I don't get the praise for this movie. I don't get why it made money. And critics praise it for the Asian culture. I'm like, I've seen movies better done that way. If you critics not seen, yeah, this film is like part of the martial. It's like the first time I'm having a martial arts movie as well in the MCU, and it just to me it copies other movies. I think the Karate Kid is better. Part one, two, and even three I'd rather watch. Even the new Karate Kid I'd rather watch than this. Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee is a lot better. Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee is better. Mortal Kombat from 1995, Bloodsport, which I do have Bloodsport, and I have Rapid Fire. I have Kickboxer. I want to see IP Man with Diane Yen. Yeah, I think those would be better. The Last Dragon I've never seen from 1985, but I need to. The Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman. I've always wanted to see that movie. Three Ninjas. I think I've seen that movie. I'm sure it's better than this. The Forbidden Kingdom. I like that movie. I never seen Best of the Best, but I'm sure it's better than this. John Wick 1, 2, and 3. Probably better than this. Yes, I would say so. Shanghai New, Shanghai Nights. A lot better. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story with Jason Scott Lee. Hell, Street Fighter, the movie with Van Damme. I'd rather watch that. As goofy and as bad as that can be, I can get a laugh out of it. I never seen Double Dragon, the video game movie, but I think I'd rather just watch that. Kung Fu Panda, the first Kung Fu Panda, I think is better. Yeah. The Rush Hour films are kind of martial art movies too. They're comedies, but they do some martial arts martial arts and stuff with Jackie Chan and stuff. And a lot of these movies have better fight scenes too, in my opinion, that I've seen. Better with karate, you know. They're a different type of form of martial arts, and I've seen them better in other movies. Yes. I say so. Rumble in the Bronx with Jackie Chan. This movie was kind of like science fiction, like The Medallion from 2003 with Jackie Chan, which I like. That was better than this. I'm sure I would like Sidekicks a lot better with Chuck Norris and Lionheart with Van Damme. I have that as well. Time card, time card. Time Cop has some martial arts in it. That has better fight scenes and a better science fiction story. Double Impact. You can have some Van Damme movies that are better, and I'm sure a lot of Bruce Lee's movies are better. Like I said, Enter the Dragon. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Turtles. The 1990 film is better than this. A lot more memorable. Karate Kid Part 2. Even Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior, I'm sure is better. That's a Disney Channel movie starring Brenda Song. I haven't seen that movie in a while, but it makes me, yeah, Mulan, which I think has an anniversary today, has better fight scenes in it, I'm sure. Well, that had an interesting story. So yeah, I've seen better martial art films, guys, and but the character of Shang-Chi, Zing Shang-Chu, also known as Master of Kung Fu and Brother Hand, superhero appearing in Marvel Comics, created by Steve Englehart and Jim Herlin, described the greatest martial artist alive. Uh, excuse me, have y'all not heard of Bruce Lee? Yeah, if you're saying that, yeah. Shang-Chi has been trained since birth to be the ultimate fighter. Seems like a pretty cool character in the comics. Abilities: Master Shi, Personalistic abilities: superhuman strength, speed, durability, flight. His fight skills are so great that he's been able to beat numerous superhuman opponents. He's a classic athlete, but he's one of the best known superhuman martial arts, and he's dedicated much of his life to the art, which we don't get much of that in here. Yeah. Sword, staff, Celtics, okay. Nunchucks. Doesn't use nunchucks in this movie. Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. Remember he used nunchucks? That was freaking awesome in Enter the Dragon. Yeah. The critics praised that movie. Have you not seen Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee? How fucking awesome of a movie that was. It's a classic. May he rest in peace. Yeah. But I never heard of this character before, but I don't think they did him right in this movie, but that's just my opinion. So let's get into the history of this movie, how it came to be production. According to Margaret Lelache, former president and CEO of Marvel Studios, Stan Lee discussed a potential film or television series based on the Marvel comic books character of Shang-Chi. I think it would be more interesting. At one point, though, actor Brandon Lee, as well as Linda Lee, did in the 1980s with the intention of having Brandon Lee star, but Brandon Lee sadly passed away. And I'd rather watch The Crow. Yeah, The Crow was dark, but The Crow has a much better story. Heck, even The Crow City of Angels, I don't care for that movie very much. It's okay, but I could watch it over this. That's just me. Ark of the Crow Salvation. Yeah. Is this bad as Wicked Prayer? No, but I think it's on par with it. And then the Crow remake, because I didn't care for either movies. All three movies I didn't care for, but that would have been cool to see Brandon Lee. I could definitely see Brandon as a character. If he could play the Crow, which he was great at, I think he would have been awesome Shang-Chi. It probably would have been Marvel, probably been rated R. I'd rather, see the done rated R. That'd been cool. Brandon's father was the visual inspiration for artist Paul when drawing Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu comic book in the 1970s. Yeah, and again, like I said, okay, so he's interested in Bruce Lee and saying he's the greatest martial artist alive. I'm like, so they're trying to base the character on Bruce Lee. Cool, and but give me a better actor. 2001, Stephen Norton signed on to direct a Shang-Chi film entitled The Hands of Shang-Chi. By 2003, it was developed at DreamWorks Pictures, with Young Woo replacing Norton as director and Bruce McCann writing the screenplay. Ang Lee joined the project produced in 2004. Ang Lee, yes, the guy who directed Hulk 2003. But it did not materialize, and the rights character was reverted back to Marvel. In 2005, September of 2005, Marvel Chairman CEO Avi Everett, who's been with Marvel since, the beginning, well, starting with Blade, announced Shang-Chi as one of 10 properties being developed by the newly formed Marvel Studios. After the company received financing to produce the slate with the Paramount Pictures as distributor, Marvel thought the character would make a great film. Despite being relatively known because he has a very Disney story in the comics, the Ten Rings organization was introduced in Marvel's film Iron Man without its leader, the Mandarin, which is fine. Maybe you could have had the Mandarin in this movie. We do get the Mandarin, but we get Trevor, the actor, the annoying Ben Kingsley in this movie. He's a great actor, but again, yeah. Spoiler alert, they bring Trevor back in this movie from Iron Man 3. Yeah. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige thought they could have not done the character justice in the Iron Man films. because they focus on Tony Stark Iron Man and plan to introduce him in later film instead. According to Chris Fenton, and they screwed that up with Iron Man 3, former president of the Chinese-based film production company DMG Entertainment was talking to Marvel Studios to co-produce their films. Marvel offered to create a teaser featuring the Shang-Chi of the manager for the Chinese market that would be featured at the end of the Avengers. They boldly offered to censor the manager's negative stereotypical portrayal in the comics to potentially prevent the film from being released in China and risk. The manager would eventually appear in Iron Man 3 of Ben Kingsley, but he was already actor named Trevor, who was hired to pose as the character as Mandarin. He said that this did not necessarily mean a more favorite version of the character did not want to exist in the MCU, and this was converted to the Marvel One short film, All Hail the King. By December 2018, Marvel had fast-tracked development of Shang-Chi film. Excuse me. Until making it the first film with an Asian lead. Marvel hired Chinese-American writer Dave Callahan to write the screenplay. He began looking at Asian-American filmmakers to potentially direct the film. The studio's goal was to have Asian-American filmmakers. I got an idea. Why not get John Woo to direct? Themes related to their culture, as they done for African-American culture with Black Panther, which Black Panther I respected for that, but it is not the first black superhero movie ever. Yeah. But it does respect African American culture. I can see what they're trying to do with this movie, but it just failed on every level. To me, what respects the Asian culture is the Bruce Lee movies and a lot of Brandon Lee's, but that respects that, in my opinion. Yeah. And even Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan could be funny, does his own stunts in movies. And I feel like they add a lot to the Asian culture. Because a lot of their movies were hits when they came out. Yeah. Development of the film also came following the success of the Crazy Rich Asians, which I don't know if I really care to see that. 2018, it led to several other Asian-led properties being developed by Hollywood studios. The script was expected to modernize elements of the comic book story, which was first written in the 1970s to avoid what modern audiences would consider to be negative stereotypes. When Kellen Resnick was the first project where he asked to write from my own experience, from my own perspective, Jessica Chow, who would later become the head writer of the Marvel Studios television series She-Hulk and Attorney of Law, which is just as almost even worse as this movie. I hate that show. Richard Newby, the Hollywood Reporter, said the film could break out way similar to Black Panther. You're trying to be like Black Panther, you failed. I'm sorry. You're not going to be like Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman was great. That movie worked on its own. Even the sequel, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I think is better than this movie. Yeah, it has issues, but I thought it was better than this film, in my opinion. Newby felt Shang-Chi could have words as well as television series. Instead, speaks volumes. Marvel would decide to make a feature film about the character instead. Concluded that the film was an opportunity to avoid stereotypes, Asian martial artists, and be more than Marvel's Bruce Lee. Marvel Studios hired Japanese-American filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton to direct the film in March, who previously directed episodes of Marvel Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones. Iron Fist I heard was a lame show. Jessica Jones I have no interest in. Iron Fist, like I said about Iron Fist, I've never seen the show, but I heard it was pretty lame. Yeah. Creighton had previously not been interested in directing superhero films, but was joined the project to help create a world and character that Asian children should look up to and see themselves in. Have you not seen any Bruce Lee movies? He pitches included visuals inspiration from Chinese, South Korean, Japanese, and other Asian cinema, including anime, to highlight tone, or even dragging the Bruce Lee story. You look at that too when you talk about Asian culture. That showed the drama of the pain of life, but also showed the humor of life. In April, Marvel Studios and Australian artist Fish Phil that the upcoming Marvel film believed that Shang-Chi will be filmed at Fox Studios in Australia and Sydney and New South Wales. For casting, though, they Shang-Chi, including Louis Tan and Samuel Liu. Tan previously portrayed Xiao Chung, and for Iron Fist, the studio was meant that actors would be best Chinese descendant to audition for the character. Liu was considered early in the auditions process, brought back for a second edition when the creators were finding it difficult to cast the role. He said again on July 14th, it was cast as in the lead role. Hoggenau, who's the first actor cast for the film, she had chemistry with the actors and said it was apparent that Liu and Shang-Chi from the jump. That the castings were announced by Creighton and San Diego Comic Con on the panel July 20th. Creighton had wanted to cast Liu, but was doubtful he would accept that to contact Liu and instead of the role after meeting Creighton. Yeah. A month later, Michelle Yeoh entered talks for the role in the film. This was a different character than the Optic Orgord, who Yeoh created portrayed in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Jessica Henwick, who previously portrayed Colin Wing in Marvel television series, was television television's Netflix series was asked to audition for the role, but was officially offered the role of Bugs in the New Matrix Resurrection, which came out the same year. Cage inspired the role as Trevor. They want to get the context of who the manager is and the character. Yeah, basically, it's he's an addition partway through the film rolls, and great, he's the comic relief, And I didn't find him funny at all. In addition to Callum, Crane and Andrew Lim, screenplay for the Shang-Chi and the movie Legend of the Ten Rings, the film is regarded as a sweeping superhero epic that combines emotional family drama with martial arts action. Lou noted that the comic book backstory for Shang, if you're making a martial arts film, don't make it drama. It doesn't work. This movie didn't. Characters such as Batman or Spider-Man. They gave the film better freedom to take more creative liberties with the story. Yeah, and the characters are not widely known like Batman or Spider-Man. Yeah. Reading further, the film told an authentic story about Asian identity. Said that there is no single Asian American voice. He and Creedon compared to how the film would speak to the white Asian. Yeah. Cast members Llewellyn and saying contributed their own experiences coming from Canada, Hong Kong, and mainland China. Surely to add to the illustrated of the film. He said the choice of language was used when always rooted in the just dialogue. The characters who would necessarily speaking what language sang. First language was Mandarin, serves as a coach for the other actors. Shang-Chi further deals with some of the negative characterization around Asian Americans and languages portraying his characters' knowledge of Asian languages. Green felt that it was important to have many strong women that were kicking his butt in gear, like his relationship between his Shang-Chi and his father, the film's version of the Mandarin. She was the production designer for the movie. First, because they were scouted was San Francisco. That's their job. That movies, the production. I mean, production designer. I guess they got to find a location. They got to get permission from whatever state or country they're going to film a movie. They have to get permission to film there. Yeah. These elements were used as the basis of the village set, along with construction elements such as bamboo, both real and artificial bamboo used. The 10 original was originally designed for the MCU, features a circle of 10 rings with the characters from the monologue language, like the appearance in Iron Man 3. Film began in February 2020. In other words, our streamboat. On March 12th, the studios had started hard work for the film due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Grant decided to have himself tested for coronavirus. Had to work closely with people, so I guess they did wear face masks. I don't think the film got delayed. I'm not reading that it got delayed. Yes, Sanders. There's some stuff I'm reading through here. The post-credit scene does introduce Mark Ruffalo, come back to Bruce Banner, and Brie Larson as Carol Danvers Captain Marvel. Just at the end credits, post-credit scene. Visual effects. Christopher Townsend was hired to do visual effects supervisor for the film. For the marketing. I do remember the trailer for this movie. Uh, for Lou's birthday, he shared the first teaser poster for the film. It was really far up on Marvel. For the music score, Joe P. West did the score for the film. The movie does have some songs in it too. Alright. So anyway, let me okay, the cast. Sam Liu as Sean, and Shi Liu, a skilled martial artist who was trained at the young age to be an assassin by his father. He left the Ten Rings organization for a normal life in San Francisco, but it does come back on him. So let's see. Oh, he's a Canadian actor. He was termed as the famous character. I did not care for him in this role, but that's just me. I'll get to why later. I haven't seen many other movies. Don't really care to. Avni as Kete, a hotel valet and Shang-Chi's best friend. I didn't like this actress at all. I'm sorry. And half these people are not really Asian. Yeah, from what I'm seeing, a lot of them were born in America. Yeah. Well, Lou was born in China, so he's really Chinese. Okay. Oh no, let's see. I don't think I've seen her in any movies. Well, voiced Angry Birds movie 2. Courtney, she did okay. She did good in that. Ocean's 8, which I really don't care to see. The Bad Guys, Kung Fu Panda 4. Kung Fu Panda, Dueling Dumplings, short film, which I've never seen. Manur Sinag as Xu, Shang Yi's young sister. Mm, don't think I've seen her in any of the movies. Well, Yin is Yingling, Win's wife and the mother of Shang-Chi and Yingling. I'm going to screw up some of these names. Very beautiful actress, though. I don't think I've seen her much. Lauren Matone as Razor Fist. I remember the Ten Rings with the machete blade. Yeah, he was Richard Drago in Creed 2, Creed 3, which I didn't care for him in that. I'm sorry. Dude, you're not intimidating like Dolph Lundgren, okay? You just remind me of every cliche henchman I've seen in a James Bond movie. Okay? Richard Kiel's Jaws was better than you. Even a Moonraker. Yin Wao as King Bo, one of the leaders of Taboo. A decent actor, you know. Let's see. Films has he done? Well, guess many other Asian films that I've never seen. Michelle Yeoh as Ying Nang, Guardian of Taolu, and is Xing and Yoli's aunt and the sister of their mother. I've seen her in like Tomorrow Never Dies. I liked her in that. That has some martial arts moves in it too. I love that movie. She was good in that film. She was in Police Story 3, Magnificent Warriors. Uh, I think also The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon. I think she was in that as well. But I've always liked her as an actress. A very beautiful woman as well. Well, I said, I love her in Tomorrow Never Dies. Okay. Super Cop 2. I haven't seen her too many. Oh, she was on Wicked. Yeah, I'd love to see that movie. Yeah. Uh, wait a minute, who was I looking at? Michelle Yeoh? Yes, Dad, you're welcome. Sorry, my dad was texting me. He's in Florida seeing my uncle. And Benedict Wong comes back as one master of the mystic arts. Y'all seen him in Doctor Strange. And of course, he would go on next year to be in Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness, and of course, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, and also a role in Spider Man No Way Home. Yeah. And Kingsley as Trevor. I like him in Species. He's good in Species. But I cannot stand him as Trevor. He's just annoying. The Jungle Book, I thought he did good in that, but that movie wasn't that great either, or good. He's a good actor, though. Tony Leung as Yi Wing, Shang-Chi and Ying's father, who's like the villain of the movie, leader of the Ten Rings. Decent actor. Seems like a good actor, but I did not really care for him in this film. Okay. And the film was directed by, I never heard before, Destin Daniel Cretton. He directed Just Mercy, which I liked. Oh, he directed Short Term 12 with Brie Larson. I like those movies. Yeah. The Glass, I think that was a sequel to Unbreakable. Yeah. But Just Mercy, The Shack, I like that as well. And it's also screenplays by Dave Cameron. You have three writers on this film, which I don't think you needed that. Dave Cameron actually wrote the Dune movie, which I didn't care for, the first Expendables movie. One of them 1984, and Spider-Man Cross the Spider, which I do like those movies. One of them 1984, despite the issues with it and it being too long, I do like it. Yeah. Andrew Lauman, he also wrote The Shack, Last Castle, Just Mercy in this movie, which again, I like those movies, except this one. Based on Marvel Comics, produced by Kevin Feige. Like I said, he's been starting with these movies since the first Iron Man film in 2008. Yeah. And Jonathan Shorts, Vice President of Production and Development, in some of the Marvel movies. Cinematography is by William Pope, who I thought did pretty good. He's worked with Sam Raimi. Let's see in which movies. Darkman, I love Darkman. I think that's a better comic book film than this. Army of Darkness, Plain Check, Clueless, Bound, Zero Effect, Spider-Man 2, Men in Black 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Edited by Nat Sanders, who again worked with the director on Short Term 12 and Just Mercy. Harry Young worked on movies like, edited films like this movie, Thunderbolts. Oh, we're going backwards a little bit with the years here. Okay. Oh, no. Of course, that's a new Marvel movie that's on theaters now. Music is by Joel P. West. He did music score for Short Term 12, again starring Brie Larson, and for Just Mercy and The Glass Castle. It wasn't The Glass. Oh, The Glass Castle starring Brie Larson, not The Glass with the suit of the Unbreakable Cemetery. I'm sorry, guys, I'm losing my mind. This damn heat. As you realize we're in June now and the damn heat's getting up high. Yes, I am sweating a little bit, but I got my water to keep me cool. Marvel Studios, the parent company's Marvel Studios, distributed Walt Disney Studio Pictures. It was released September 3rd, 2021. It's 132 minutes long. Oh, damn it. The movie is 2 hours and 12 minutes long, but when I watched this film on Disney Plus, by the way. I don't own it. It was about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah, it felt very long, including the two press credit scenes at the end and the end credits itself. The budget was estimated to be 150 $200 million. Box office made $432 billion worldwide. It grew, yeah. It's the ninth grossing high film in 2021. It broke it set several box office records, received positive reviews for the illustration of Asian culture, which many other those type of martial art films have done that. Yeah, yeah. I hope a sequel doesn't happen, but it will because this film was a hit. I don't know why. Again, I've seen better movies done with Asian culture. I cannot respect that. They may not be, but you know what? Into the Dragon doesn't need to pander to you. You know, Bruce Lee, from what I heard in real life, he was willing to train anybody to train karate or to fight, no matter what color your skin was. You know, you don't need to pander to people to have a good film. You just need a good story. You don't need to pander it. You know, a lot of martial art films work because they don't do that. It doesn't always have to be an Asian guy lead to be martial arts. Like I said, Jean-Claude Van Damme, I know he's not from China, but he's from another country, but still, Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Lionheart, you say those kind of like martial, even The Quest, or like martial art movies. You know, yeah, okay, anyway. I'm gonna talk about the plot synopsis of the movie. And if you've never seen this movie, do not watch this movie, but you can hear me talk about the plot synopsis. So, the film is about martial arts master Shang-Chi. Basically, he's hiding from his past, confronts his past that he thought he left behind when he's drawn into the web of the mysterious Ten Rings organization, led by his father, who's been lived for thousands. Yeah, He's confronting his dad, the leader of the Ten Rings, his father Lu Wing. Charles Shang-Chi and his sister yelling into a search for a mystical village that he wants to open up and he wants to bring their mom back. And so Shang-Chi must defeat his father, take down the Ten Rings, and basically his father's going to bring something dangerous into the world that can bring a monster into it and kill everybody on Earth, kill millions of people. So Shang-Chi, along with the help of his friend, Car Thief Girl is what I call her, and Michelle Yeoh and his sister, they have to save the day. They have to save the world. Yeah. All right, now I'm going to talk about the movie itself. And again, if you've never seen Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings, do not watch this review. And if you've never seen this movie, good for you. Again, I didn't care for this film. I thought it was boring. And I'll get into my problems of it much later. My final thoughts on it later. But let's talk about the movie. So basically, the movie opens up in ancient times. A man named Yelwix Nu discovered 10 mystical rings that gives him these powers. Oh, he's a dad that he's after power. So this kind of reminds me of Annalise Hope. Maybe Annalise somewhat different somewhat this movie because this film definitely reminds me the hell out of that movie because his father wanted power. This isn't the first movie where the hero has to fight his father. Hulk 2003, yeah, because his father was after power, but here it's a different motivation. But again, he's after power. He's lived for thousands of years. He's conquered the worlds. He's been around for many centuries, for thousands of years. He's owned the Ten Rings organization. These artifacts blessed him with immortality and unmatched power, allowing him to become the dominating conqueror. He founded the Ten Rings organization, the terrorist syndicate, spread nearly every corner of the world over the millennia. Still, he was not satisfied. Having heard of a village tale, he goes to this village. He ventures into this baboon maze of this village, and it's like the woods are coming apart. I'll give this film one thing: the visual effects are nicely done. The cinematography is very beautiful, you know, in this movie. So he fights, this woman, comes across Yingling. They fight, and she's trying to stop him, but it's more like they're giving their self like sexual attraction looks. Even though this guy's a psychopath, and the villain just look at him. Oh, he's hot. I think I'll get in bed with him. In which she kicks his ass. Eventually, they fall in love. They get married. They have Shang-Chi and his sister, and they do this. We don't see that, but yeah, which I thought this woman was an idiot. I thought it was the Michelle Yeoh character, but I was wrong. Because again, this is my first time seeing the movie. I thought that at first, and I'm like, I didn't care. This movie just made me lose interest. And the subtitles, oh my god, the subtitles annoy the piss out of me. I could not read them. It's like my TV that my dad has. It's like a movie theater TV kind of way, and it's obnoxious to read all those subtitles. Yes, I know it's an Asian film. You were trying to put that you had that language in there, okay? But why not have Shang-Chi himself say it in English? You know, I was thinking to myself, is this movie going to talk in Spanish the whole time and the Chinese language the whole time? Because if it is, I won't review it, but it didn't. Yeah, because he talks to his one of his men about finding this woman. Yeah. So anyway, they have their children. Then in 2007, Lee retells the story of Lee, who's all grown up, going by the name Sean. He had a real bad past with his father, who he ran from since he was like what 18 or something like that. He's now a grown man living as Sean, being a valet park it, and he's got this friend. And honestly, I forget the friend's name. What's her name again? I forget her name. I'm gonna call her Car Thief Girl. Annoying Car Thief Girl. Yeah, because she takes off with the car, so she's basically a thief. They stole the car, you know, and he hangs out with her family too. He has this green pendant that can help find his way back home. But you find out Shang-Chi, his father, raised him to fight, like punching a ball. or punching up. Yeah, I've seen a better kickboxer with Tong Po. But anyway, he punches the wall. It's bloody. He's training him hard to fight, to become a great fighter. And his mother dies because, spoiler alert, his father has killed so many innocent people. These people want revenge on him, so they attack his mother. They kill his mom right in front of his face, and he's just a little boy. And his father brutally kills somebody in front of him, which is a disturbing thing for a child to see. Um, yeah, and he sends him to get revenge with his knife, and he doesn't do it. Well, he does do it, but out of guilt, just ran away from his father. Is living with Sean. He hangs out with this girl, hangs out with the family, and I just didn't care for these scenes too much. Eventually, the first big action scene is the bus, and I've seen it better, like in The Specialist, when he's saying, "Hey, excuse me," the lady sitting down, he's like, "Fuck you," and then Stallone's like, "Excuse me, fuck you," and then Stallone takes his glass off, kicks their ass. Yeah, that's a better scene. This movie, I didn't care for the fights too much. The ending was fine, but I've seen better action, and a lot of, like I said, Enter the Dragon, Rapid Fire had better action. I can name a lot of martial arts films like Bloodsport, Kickboxer that have better action than this. Fight scenes, at least. Van Damme Bloodsport, like, was much better. Yeah, people can laugh at it and say it's over the top, but so is this. And bad CGI have shots. You have this big guy who looks like a tall version of Jaw, was just another cliche henchman with a sword for a hand. I'm like, sword for hands, sword for feet. Kingsman, the Secret Service. Remember that girl that had the sword fight? Yeah, that was a lot cooler. And that film was rated R, and a comic book film too, and it did much better than this, and that was better than this movie. And that was like a British movie. That was better than this. A spy movie that was a heck of a lot better than this because it had a real good story and was rated R. It was really entertaining to watch. I'll even watch the sequel, The Golden Circle. At least The Golden Circle, I think, is more interesting than this. They're more interesting than the Ten Rings, in my opinion. Yeah. So anyway, they try to kill him with a pin in it, and the girl's like, she's like, "Who are you?" Fight, and they get on the bus. Jumps on the bus. A few action scenes. Eventually get off the bus and he realizes he's got to go home. And she's like, "Well, I'm coming with you." He tells her his story. This airline lady or whatever, hostess, whatever the hell you want to call them, the ladies on the airline that give you food, she was just annoying. Yeah. The guy's name's Razor Fist. Yeah. So car thief girl goes along with them. They want to learn, because she's determined to learn who he is. They locate the address of this postcard that he presumes his sister gave him, finding the Golden Daggers Club, which is owned by his sister. He signs on for a fight. You have Abomination and Wong. Yes, Wong from Doctor Strange fighting. And honestly, Abomination looks like crap in CGI. The CGI was awful. It's even bad, and the CGI is. I know he's in She-Hulk too, but the CGI is awful. And then he has to fight his sister. You find out that he was going to be back in 3 days to see their mother's shrine to, at their grave. But he never showed up, so she's been angry at him. She eventually left too, her father, and, owns the club and does it illegally, fights and stuff. And Shang-Chi, yeah, he's supposed to be great like Bruce Lee. His sister kicks him in the face and gets knocked out. He's a weak character. Gets his ass kicked. But later, after he loses the fight, because he refuses to fight her. So we gotta do more family drama BS, which I don't care about. I didn't find this interesting. It's just trying to be like Annalise Hogue. You're just trying to throw drama in a Marvel movie that just doesn't work. You can put drama in there sometimes, but only when I care. So he talks to his sister. He's like, "Why did you send me this postcard? I did not send you the postcard. I don't know what you're talking about. We was. Then she meets his car thief friend. Yeah, oh, yeah, there's moments I forgot to mention where they're like doing karaoke, and I thought that was annoying. This is at a time where Marvel, for me, at this point, I'm getting sick of the humor. It's just wearing thin for me. I'm getting more annoyed by it. Marvel will just. I know Marvel's comedy. It's not a comedy every 5 seconds like Thor: Love and Thunder, but still, when the comedy hits here, it doesn't really work for me. Only one scene made me chuckle, made me laugh. That was it. Yeah. So his sister refuses to help him out. Then the Ten Rings come with Razor Fist. I was about to say Taser Face. Taser Face was a lot more funnier than this guy. You know. And even when Rocket was messing with him about his name. Anyway, they try to find them. They get out. They scale this wall, the elevator, but the terrorists attack them. They fight like on these bamboo sticks. Like this reminded me of Rush Hour 2, because Karate, she like falls like, on bamboo, Chinese bamboo strong. Like it reminds me of completely Rush Hour 2, and that was more entertaining to watch, more funnier. I loved it because I loved it when Chris Tucker was singing in the club that Michael Jackson song. You know, that was a lot funnier and more entertaining of a sequel of a movie than this. Sequel or not, it's still a lot more entertaining. Like, Lord Jesus, help me! I don't want to die. I'm like, that was more funnier. This crap is CGI. And then his father shows up. My men said they didn't kill you, but they fell. Welcome home, son. So he welcomes him back home. Takes his sister's pendant too. So his father comes. They're taken back to his headquarters. Where he reveals that he tells him that his late wife has been calling him from the group. Like, Mom was gone, Dad. No, I know your mother's voice. So he wants to go to this village, back to the secret village, to open this portal, this big stone portal. He wants to like use the rings to like punch it to open it to bring her back to life because he misses her, is obsessed with her. I mean, not obsessed, but he misses his wife, wants to be with her again. You know, and they said, "This army, you're coming with us, son and daughter. And if we're not, we're going to burn the village. We're going to kill a lot of people." He's like, "What? This is insane!" And his dad knocks him down and shiny. And the car thief girl's like, "No." He tells her about his history, about the car thief annoying girl, about his history of him and his mom. When they bamboozles each other. I don't know. I'm just making up making up words. You know. Yeah. And he shows him that there's a nice special effect where he shows him it can be in this water. It was a nice special effect. I'll admit that. The visual effects there were really beautiful. Yeah. I'll give it where credit is due. Eventually, he puts them in his cage. They see Trevor! He talking about Ben Kingsley. I'm like, oh. The only thing he had was, Trevor has this pet named Morris. I thought Morris has no eyes, but he's a really cute animal. Very cute. He was very adorable. Yeah, but so was Baby Groot, and Guardians 2 was still a better movie than this. Like, even 3 was. Despite the issues. Yeah. So Trevor, they're able to break out of there. They steal the car. They, get chased by the Ten Rings. The sister's able to like knock one guy off the bike, off this motorcycle. They get to the woods. He's like, Mo Moore says, turn left, turn left, turn right. You see these creatures. Some of the CGI is, I'm not gonna lie, some of the CGI is horrible. But it's 2021. We're 2020 now. You're gonna see everything in CGI. It's just awful to look at. But they get to the village to say, you're not welcome here. You betrayed your mother, betrayed us, you leave, until Michelle Yeoh shows up to tell him that I'm your aunt, you know, and that you can help us fight. And Car Thief learns how to shoot a bow and arrow, which she becomes an expert like that in a day, which I don't buy. So she gives him, the suit that you see in the trailer and the poster. He gets a suit, fights with Michelle Yeoh a little bit. Michelle Yeoh is a good martial artist. I'm sure she is in real life, and she pulls that off here. She did good. She tries. Despite the script being weak and stuff in this movie, he's trying. They said their father has fallen victim to the dweller's influence. So the father arrives eventually. His father tells him what he wants to do. He's like, kill them if they get in the way. And so they start fighting, and him and his father have that big fight. Is this what you wanted me to kill you? So they start fighting, and I didn't care for this, to be honest. I thought this was lame. But I've seen better endings to the Dragon, the mirror scenes, and Mr. Han, who was a better villain, by the way. I do think the actor that played the father did good, but I thought his motivations were weak in here. And I've seen this kind of thing before in other certain movies where a villain's obsessed with something, they want something, or they want to live them back, and they screw it up real bad. I think I've seen this in movies before, superhero related or other movies before, you know. But they fight, and then the CGI dragon looks awful. The dragon in Dragonheart was voiced by Sean Connery in Dragonheart, and with Dennis Quaid, who was a better lead, by the way, than Sam Liu. But he eventually gets his father gets past him, knocks him out eventually, opens up the portal. You have these soul eaters, and I thought it was funny when Razor Fist, we're on the Ten Rings, we don't need your help until they can't kill these things. Stabbing them takes a while to do. It's like, okay, we team up, and I thought that was funny. And they team up, and honestly, this bored me. The climax for me went on to way too long. This felt like what I'm trying to say is this Transformers movie. Yeah, the climax went on too long. It feels like it's trying to be Avengers Endgame climax, and I'm like, you failed at that. Endgame had a better villain and a better story. This does not. So basically, Shang-Chi becomes How to Train Your Dragon Boy, you know, gets on that, and well, his father gets sucked in by the Dwell monster, sucks the life out of him. He gives him his rings, and he uses it for good. Yeah, he saves his sister. Yeah, eventually he uses the ring. He tears Dwell into pieces, and he ends about he kills it. I don't really remember. Don't really care to. Eventually, they go to their friends and tell them the story. Wong shows up and says, "We need to talk." Yeah, and then the movie ends there. They discuss the origin of his father's rings, making Sue and John realize that they were telling the truth. They're friends. Then you have Brie Larson, which she looked beautiful in here, by the way. And Bruce Banner. It was nice to see Bruce just be Bruce. That's one redeeming thing about this movie. I didn't like the talking Hulk, scientist Hulk. I hated that. Yeah, they're contacted for help, but they are turn out to be clueless. They say, "How long has your father had these weapons?" That Wong reveals that they've been around for thousands of years too. The master mystical arts, because these what he's been doing is bringing mystical threats, and the master of mystical arts they deal with those kind of mystical threats, like Doctor Strange. But meanwhile, his sister returns to the Ten Rings headquarters, and becomes the new leader of the organization. I guess saying that in the sequel she'll be a villainess. I don't know. Yeah, with him being in the future, with him becoming Shang-Chi, whatever, and they just sing at the end with Wong, and that's the end of the movie. And honestly, yeah, that's the end of the film. All right, let me get done here, folks. Give my final opinion on this movie. So, I hated this movie. I thought it was boring, awful. It rips off some of the martial art films. Honestly, it did rip off Ang Lee's Hulk, even though I hate Ang Lee's Hulk. I'm like, I've seen this thing with the father being the villain. I've seen it before in a Marvel movie. Ang Lee's Hulk. And that's an awful boring movie, too. This film was boring, too. Now, did I like about it? The actor who played the father, uh, Luang, yeah, well, he did good. The actor who played the father, he was good. But well, I thought he did a good job. I thought Michelle Yeoh was good as well. Benedict Wong for a short time in the movie, a couple times he was good, but mostly embarrassing himself in here. The director I thought was lame. They're pandering to Asian culture, really trying hard to that, and you don't need to do that. You're pandering way too much and adding too much drama here, and you're trying to. What are you trying to be? Are you trying to pander to an Asian audience? Are you trying to be a martial arts film? What are you trying to be? What is this movie? What's the tone? What the hell are you trying to be? You trying to be martial arts mixed with drama? That doesn't work in a movie. Yeah, Dragon Bruce Lee story. Yeah, I had some drama in there, but I cared about the love story between Bruce and Linda Lee. I'm talking about Jason Scott Lee and damn it, she was in fucking Dumb and Dumber. Excuse my language. Dumb and Dumber. Lauren Holly, yeah, they had good chemistry, and the story was interesting. Again, the villain was good. I'm trying to think, the villain in The Shadow and Rush Hour 2, Ricky Tan, who played in The Shadow, he was a better villain. This film didn't have three writers. I don't get your story, but I like Michelle Yeoh, and some of the visual effects were very beautiful. Really, yeah, some of the visual effects were good. The cinematography is nice. Sam Liu, I did not like this guy. He didn't work for me. He was lame. He was very wooden. I didn't really buy him. And Anakia, whatever her name is, she was annoying. The sister I didn't care for. She was just they to me. Her and the actor play Shang-Chi. They were bland and forgettable. Yeah, Ben Kingsley was just irritating again. I hated seeing Trevor. Trevor should have just stayed in prison. That'd be it. But the cinematography was nice. Like I said, the editing is fine, but I've seen better fight scenes and better martial art films. A lot of them are better. I really have, folks. I'm sorry. And the film is way too long and boring. And I hated the climax. The climax, it felt like watching Transformers movies. It just Transformers movie. It's so long. The climax takes forever. It just kept on going and going. You know, Ben Kingsley was not needed in this movie. You didn't need him in this film at all. You know, you didn't need a long climax. This film is definitely trying to be like a Transformers movie with, and some of the CGI. I'm not saying all of these effects are good, but some of the CGI is awful. I like the little Morse character. He was cute and adorable. He's the best thing about the film, in my opinion. But the film was very boring, lame, and forgettable. Yeah, and I just couldn't get into it. This wasn't for me. Again, I can sit here, guys. I mentioned on this video martial art films I do like. Some Van Damme ones, Bruce Lee one, and I'd rather watch some Bruce Lee movies over this, or more Brandon Lee's movies. I love Rapid Fire, Showdown in Tokyo. I love that movie, The Punisher from 1989. You can say that has some martial arts in it, a little bit, yeah. Because I believe Dolph Lundgren is a martial artist too, or something like that. Or any movie with Chuck Norris is better than this. You know, that deal with martial arts, Walker Texas Ranger has some good fight scenes in it. That's more entertaining to watch. And good characters in it as well. This film didn't have good characters, many. And I didn't care for the film. Visually, it's a beautiful looking movie. Cinematography nice. Some performances are good, and some others just suck. And Ben Kingsley wasn't needed. The film was just boring. You're trying to represent Asian culture, but you're trying to be a martial arts film and drama. You're trying to mix everything into one movie. That's what it felt like for me. Like this, the tone I just didn't get. And I've seen the cliche thing. Oh, he wants a loved one back. I'm like, I've seen villains do this before in a movie. It's nothing new. You know, yeah. And you copy a scene from Rush Hour 2 with a bamboozle stick scenes on the wall. Fight scene. Yeah, and the action is nothing memorable. Yeah. And he doesn't really become a Shang-Chi till like the third act of the movie. Doesn't really work that to the end of the film. And he's a very bland and uninteresting character. The story I didn't care about. Yeah. His mom I had the hots for a psychopath. I mean, he was a villain anyway. You know, that was torturing his kids and a douchebag and was a killer. And she just was like, oh, she's gonna stop him and take him down. But the one look, he looks, I want to bang him and have little babies with a psychopath. Oh boy, thank God a woman who didn't see Ted Bundy really. Well, in court they probably did, but you know, women don't fall for guys that are crazy and psychopaths. Okay, if they're mad and they kill innocent people, stay away. you know, or you know, or be like Julia Roberts. You know, when and Sleeping with the Enemy, which is a better movie than this too, but she shot her husband because he tried to kill her. But anyway, that's a better film than this. A lot of martial art films are better than this. I don't know what more I can say, but Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Ships was awful. They don't explore it the Ten Rings enough. Mandarin should have been the main villain of this movie. But this film screws it up by bringing Trevor back. The second time you fucked up this character. Marvel, you know, because you're so bent on pandering me with Asian culture over my head. You have to bang it over my head. I get it. We've seen martial art films before. We've had it. Stop shoving it in my face. Uh, just be your own thing. Have a better story next time. If you're gonna make a sequel, do it much better. Get better actors. I don't want this guy to come back. If he comes back, I'm not seeing it. But of course, on Marvel, we'll bring back the characters. Of course they do. Speaking of Brie Larson, yeah, I'd rather watch Captain Marvel or even the Marvels over this. At least that was a short movie. Yeah. Anyway, guys, my rating for Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings, I'm gonna give this film a thumbs down, and my rating for this film is 1 out of 5 stars. I hated this movie. It's cool if you like it. No, call me racist. First of all, you know, I reviewed The Crow on my other channel with Brandon Lee, and I love that movie. Yeah, that's a better movie than this. And so was Rapid Fire, Enter the Dragon, and some of the Van Damme movies I mentioned. So, guys, in the comments down below, tell me what you think of Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings down below. Do you like it or do you hate it? Tell me in the comments down below, guys. Thanks for watching. Give my rating for the film is 1 out of 5 stars and thumbs down. All right, let's see. The next superhero review is going to be the 2021 sequel to Venom. Well, the first movie that came out in 2018, and starring Tom Hardy and Woody Harrison, and that is Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Yay! Oh boy, here we go again. Yep. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That last one start to finish. Yeah. But Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Directed by Andy Serkis, I believe. Yeah. This will be the next 2020 review, so stay tuned for that. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This film was October 1st. So we got that. Then after Venom, Injustice, and then Eternals, which is also on Disney Plus, which I'm going to watch, and Spider-Man: No Way Home, which will be my last 2021 review. Now, before I get to Catwoman Hunted, I might still have to buy the movie. Okay, yeah, Venom: Let There Be Carnage will be next, but Catwoman Hunted, which is going to start off for the year 2022, but we're going to have to wait on that, okay? Yeah, I gotta buy the movie off Amazon, unfortunately, if I can. I gotta wait for another paychecks or a few more paychecks from my job. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you like the movie, to each his own. But I hate the film. More power to you. If you think this is a great movie, awesome film, kudos to you. We agree to disagree. But I hated this film. So thumbs down from me and 1 out of 5 stars. So tell me, guys, how would you rank the MCU movies? What did you think of this movie in your opinion? Tell me in the comments down below. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Alrighty. Bye bye then.